Hello, peoples! Today we are doing a double review of the Transformers Studio Series Rise of the Beast Arcee and the Studio Series Rise of the Beast Mirage. Why am I doing a double review of these two? Because I just want to get them over with. So we are going to start with Arcee because, let's just say there's a lot to talk about with Mirage. So Arcee is a very interesting figure. She's the only real non-troop builder core class in this line, because the only other core class is the little, people are calling them Scourge's Sweeps, the Freezer Novocaine, and the Exosuit Noah Diaz, which I do want to eventually get my hands on, but good luck with that. So, the packaging itself is very small, like the figure, and she does not come packaged with the wheel attached to her bike. It's packaged as an accessory and you have to put it on. And I have lost her gun. I literally just lost it. I apologize. Put a picture up on screen and I need to lower the camera because she's tiny. Yeah, she's tiny. So, this is Studio Series Rise of the Beast Core Class Arcee, and the painting and the sculpting is really good, especially in the head. A lot of nice, intricate mechanical detail coming down to the arms, torso, the legs. She is a core class, so she does have a kind of rough back profile, but what do you expect from a core class? Articulation for a core class is pretty good. So head is on a ball joint, can look up, can look down. You can untab the neck to get her to look down even further. Can tilt and rotate. Shoulders are on ball joints, can rotate a full 360. Out the side, there's a pin joint here, which allows you to get the arm to go all the way up if you so choose. There is a ball joint at the elbow, which allows for an elbow bend and a bicep rotation. Nothing at the wrist, but she does have a waist joint due to transformation. Hips kick forward that far. You shift the wheel out of the way and they kick back that far. Go in and out. No thigh rotation. You get a knee bend. And that is it. So, and in terms of accessories, like I said, she already lost her gun, but you can take the wheel off and peg it into her hand to become kind of like a boomerang shuriken kind of thing. So you can do that. So now let us move on to size comparisons. I'm not going to compare her next to Mirage. I'm going to do that once near the end of the video. So first up we have the Studio Series Rise of the Beasts Bumblebee. And I'd say that scale between these two works pretty well. As you may be able to see, I have put a little bit of paint on my Bumblebee, but I think that this works well. Next up is her next to the Studio Series, give me a second, the Rise of the Beasts Wheeljack, and I did put some paint on this also, and I'd say that this scale works out pretty well. What does not work well, however, is the scale between her and the Rise of the Beasts mainline Optimus Prime, which we have pre-established in the Bumblebee, in the Studio Series Rise of the Beast Bumblebee review, that this Optimus is not in scale with the Studio Series Rise of the Beasts stuff. I generally use the SS-38 as a stand-in for Rise of the Beasts Optimus, because I know I'm probably not going to get the Studio Series Rise of the Beast Optimus. So now let's turn to Arcee's transformation. So she is a core class, so it is quite simple. So the first thing you're going to want to do is unpeg the head from the neck joint. Then you're going to want to bring the arms up and peg them together. peg them together at the base. Now you have this. So next, what you're going to want to do is rotate at the waist, make her do the splits, and rotate these joints forward, so that way you can bring up this assembly and it'll kind of slide into place. Next, you want to flip the wheels back. You want to bend the knee forwards and collapse this entire assembly. Then you want to bring this down, line up the ports and the pegs on the wheels to get them to snap together. Then you want to bring this up. There's a tab here, which will go into a slot down there. So just snap that into place. Rotate the front wheel, and bang. Bike mode. Bike mode looks decent. I mean, I wish I had the gun, so I could use it to... The gun pegs in down here and acts like a kickstand, but it doesn't really work if you don't have the gun. So this bike mode looks pretty nice. It rolls decently well. However, the back wheel has problems rolling backwards unless you're actively pressing it against the floor. Yeah, it's a good looking bike mode. Now for vehicle mode size comparisons we have... Alright, so here we have the Studio Series Rise of the Beasts Bumblebee, and I'm not sure if this scale is accurate or not. I think it might be, but I also think it might not be. I cannot be certain. What I am certain of is that this scale is wrong. This is the mainline Optimus, and yeah, no, this scale is completely off. And then we have a wheel jack, and I'm not sure if this scale is right or not. It doesn't feel right, but at the same time it does. Yeah, I don't know. Alright, now that we have Arcee done and out of the way, now let's take a look at Mirage. This man is an interesting figure, that's for sure. Let's just pry him out. So, we're right out of the box. You can see that my copy has not only a bit of paint added to it, not the greatest added paint, but added paint nonetheless, and some pretty good damage. Like, holy crap. So, this piece, this little tiny itty bitty piece that goes here, snapped off, and that holds these two pieces into place, which is, so yeah, and also, giant crack down the back, of course. So needless to say, this guy is pretty damaged, but the painting and the painting that I didn't do, and the sculpting is pretty good. Come on, focus. The head is decked out in a silver blue. A lot of it is just metallic silver or silverish blue, which is really, really nice. Now then, he is missing... he is not accurate. And that is just the nature of how these toys work, because these toys take like 2 years to develop, so they're always going to be based on concept art. So maybe 2 years down the line we'll get a more accurate version of the studio of Rise of the Beasts Mirage that actually transforms, or you could always just buy the 3.0 DLX, which is expensive, or I'm pretty sure Yellow Park is gonna come out with an upcoming Rise of the Beasts Mirage, which should be much more accurate than this, because due to their whole being model kits thing, they take way less time to develop. But needless to say, that this figure is not the greatest. As you can see, the majority of the figure is sculpted in clear plastic, and that was probably to meet licensor demand. That's probably what Porsche asked Hasbro to do in order to be able to use a Porsche in the movie, because this is the first officially licensed Porsche Transformer. And so they wanted to make it really good, so that way maybe Porsche would partner with them again. So they prioritized the vehicle mode due to it being a licensed vehicle mode, which is why he has the weird door wing design thing. Because if you look at the CGI render on the side of the box, he does not appear to have that. So it is entirely a piece of kibble that should not be there in order to ensure that the robot mode design looks good. So now, turning to his articulation, you have the head on ball joint, will look up slightly, down slightly, tilt, and rotate. Shoulders on ball joints can pull full 360, hinge out and up. There's a bicep swivel, 90 degrees of bend at the elbow. There's a wrist joint. There is a pretty compromised waist joint. Hips kick forward, they kick back, they can go in and out. There's a thigh joint, bend at the knee, and the feet are on ball joints, so these can do pretty much whatever you want, including a pivot. Now, accessory-wise, Mirage only comes with one accessory, which is his gun. And in the movie, Mirage is actually left-handed, so I put the gun into his left hand because that's where it is in the movie. If you don't believe me, you can watch clips of the movie online. Whenever Mirage has only one gun out, it is in his left hand. So Mirage is left-handed, which is quite the nice little detail. The gun itself looks really nice, sculpted really well. Now, turning to robot mode size comparisons. Alright, here we have the core class Arcee. I think the scale between these two works pretty well. We have Bumblebee, just standard deluxe scale. Here we have Wheeljack, who is a bit taller than Mirage. And here we have Optimus, who is very much so out of scale. So now, turning to Mirage's transformation, it is quite complex. So first thing you're going to want to do is take these panels and bring them out. And if you really want to, you can have him like this in robot mode, or you can remove that panel, but I don't like that. Makes him look thick. So then you shift this entire assembly upwards. Now, what you're going to want to do is the very complex orientation with the waist. So extend it out on that double joint, rotate it, and collapse the waist into that hollow part. It has to be in that position, or else it won't transform. So then you want to rotate the wrists and collapse the arms into place. They will snap in. Repeat the same process on the other side. And as you're doing that on this side, you collapse the wheel down. And you would collapse the wheel down on this side if the wheel was there. So what I do is, so this piece usually hinges down, but I just slap it on and take this little piece and shove it in to there. And take the wheel and shove it in there and squish it all together, and there you have the front of the Porsche. Now the legs. You want to rotate the door and this little assembly at the same time. Bring the wheel up, so then you can gauge where to bend the knee, so that way these pieces line up. Rotate this piece, this slot will go into a tab in there. Snap that in. Do the same thing on the other side. Bang. Now you want to line up the tabs on the insides of the doors with these slots here. And then peg them together. Take the feet, kind of droop them downwards. Now for the roof, extend it. Bring this piece out, and there are these two tabs here, which will peg into two kind of makeshift slots in here. Now, pulling that out is an absolute pain, and that is how my the rear glass on mine's cracked. So then you want to bring this in, bring in these pieces. In terms of weapon storage, you take the gun and you slide it into there. And there you have vehicle mode. And I really like this vehicle mode. The Porsche, I want to say this is a Porsche 911, is a really nice vehicle. Rolls really well due to pinned-on wheels, even though he is literally dead. Now for vehicle mode size comparisons, we have... Alright, we have Rise of the Beasts Arcee. So there's that. We got Bumblebee. We got Wheeljack. And last but not least, we have Optimus. So this figure is quite the interesting figure, and so is Rise of the Beasts Arcee. I would get Rise of the Beasts Arcee as just a little fun core class, but Mirage, it's hard to recommend unless you're really trying to complete the Autobot cast for Rise of the Beasts. But that has been this video. I will see you all next time.